You know, for the longest time, when we talked about the future of AI, all eyes were on Silicon Valley, right? But what if that's changing? What if the center of gravity for the entire AI conversation is shifting? Well, today we're going to break down a massive event happening in New Delhi that's trying to do exactly that.
Okay, so picture this, February 2026. The entire tech world, their eyes are going to be glued to New Delhi for the India AI Impact Summit. And this is a really big deal. Why? Because for the first time, a global AI summit of this scale is being hosted in the Global South. And that's not just a change of venue, you see. It's a fundamental change in perspective, putting a whole new set of priorities right on the table.
All right, Section 1. Tech Titans descend on Delhi. So, the big question is, who's actually showing up to this thing? Let's get into it. Because honestly, the guest list reads like a who's who of everyone building our AI future.
I mean, look, the schedule is just packed with the biggest names you can imagine, from Silicon Valley all the way to Mumbai. But what's really fascinating here is the mix of people. You've got the architects of the whole AI boom from California sitting at the same table as the industrial giants who are actually going to implement this stuff across India. So this isn't just another meeting, right? This is like a potential merger of global visions.
First up, of course, you've got Sam Altman. He's the CEO of OpenAI, the company that gave us ChatGPT and basically kicked this whole global conversation into high gear. Then you have Sundar Pichai. He's the CEO of Alphabet, which is of course Google's parent company. We're talking about a true giant in AI research with a reach that touches billions of people.
And this one is absolutely critical. Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA. Why is he so important? Well, his company builds the GPUs, the chips, the essential hardware that is literally powering this entire AI revolution. Without him, none of this happens.
And believe me, the list just keeps going. It creates this incredible mix of perspectives. You've got leaders from rival AI labs like Anthropic and Google DeepMind. I mean, these guys are in a flat-out race to build the next big thing. Then you bring in Indian titans like Mukesh Ambani and N. Chandrasekaran, who hold the keys to deploying this technology at a mind-boggling scale. And as if that wasn't enough, you have two of the godfathers of AI themselves, Jan LeCun and Yasho Bengio. We're talking about the people who laid the groundwork for this entire moment.
Okay, Section 2, a new impact-first agenda. Look, this is way more than just another tech conference with a flashy guest list. What India is doing here is deliberately trying to change the entire conversation, moving it away from what if and squarely into how to.
Now this is a really interesting slide because it tells a story. Just look at the evolution here. The whole global AI summit thing started back in the UK, and the focus was almost entirely on safety, on catastrophic risk, but you can see how the conversation has evolved. And now, India is making a really decisive pivot. This is so crucial. It's like the world is shifting from playing defense, just trying to prevent bad things from happening, to playing offense, actively trying to create opportunity. It's a fundamental change in the global mindset around AI.
And India is being super clear about its goal here. This quote from the Secretary of the IT Ministry says it all. The main objective is to advance the democratization of technology. And what does that really mean? It means getting past just talking about hypothetical doomsday scenarios and instead focusing on a very real question. How do we make sure the benefits of this tech actually reach everyone, especially in the Global South?
So, how exactly is India planning to structure this totally new conversation? Well, let's dive into Section 3, where we'll look at their unique framework. It's really interesting, rooted in some very specific and frankly quite profound guiding concepts.
Okay, so the entire summit is built on 3 foundational pillars. The organizers are calling them sutras. Now, sutra is a Sanskrit word, and it basically means a guiding principle, or like an essential thread that weaves wisdom and action together. Pretty cool, right?
And here they are, the 3 sutras. They're simple, but they are so powerful. People, planet, and progress. Now, just stop and think for a second how different this is from the usual tech talk, right? The usual focus is all on processing power, data sets, profit margins. By putting these values front and center, India is making a really bold statement about what the priorities of the AI revolution ought to be.
And this table shows exactly how those big ideas, those sutras, get put into practice. The work is broken down into 7 key areas, or chakras. Let's just look at a couple of these to see what they mean. Take democratizing AI, for example. That's not just about making AI cheaper. It's about making sure the incredible wealth and power this technology creates doesn't just end up with a few giant companies. Or look at inclusion. This is about intentionally building AI to help with social empowerment, not just, crossing your fingers and hoping it happens by accident. It's a really deliberate, action-focused plan.
All right, Section 4. Because this vision, this whole framework, it's not just talk. It's not just nice ideas on a slide. India is backing this up with serious money and a massive push to build its own AI infrastructure from the ground up.
First things first, let's talk about the money. We're looking at over 10,000 crore rupees. That's the budget the government has approved for its flagship India AI mission. To put that in perspective, that's well over $1 billion US. So yeah, they are serious.
Next up, compute power. This is huge. The government is providing subsidized access to more than 38,000 GPUs and TPUs. Now, this hardware is basically the engine that makes high-end AI run. Giving startups and researchers affordable access to this kind of power, that is an absolute game changer.
And finally, let's talk data. India is creating a national library, basically, with over 7,400 datasets. Now, why is this so important? Well, think about it. An AI model trained only on data from, say, San Francisco isn't going to have a clue about the specific needs of a farmer in rural India. So by building its own data repository, India is making sure its AI will actually understand its own people. We're talking literally and figuratively here.
So what you have to realize is that these aren't just random numbers. It's all part of a single coherent strategy. You're seeing the launch of homegrown language models, building dedicated GPU clusters, supporting hundreds of startups. It all fits together. When you connect the dots, you can see how this all links back to those guiding principles we talked about. By building a self-reliant or sovereign AI ecosystem, India is laying the actual groundwork to achieve its goals of people, planet, and progress, and to do it on its own terms.
Okay, final section. What's at stake for India? Because a plan this ambitious, well, it presents both a massive opportunity for India to become a true global leader in AI, but also some really significant challenges that it's got to face head-on.
And this slide really gets to the heart of the dilemma. In a nutshell, here's the tension. On one hand, India wants true self-reliance. It wants to be able to build its own powerful sovereign AI models. But on the other hand, it's facing some major hurdles. Right now, it depends on imported hardware, especially those cutting-edge GPUs. And then there's the question of energy. Powering all of this new infrastructure is going to take a colossal amount of it.
So why does solving that dilemma matter so much? Well, look at these numbers. The world's biggest tech companies are already pouring absolutely massive amounts of money. We're talking lakhs of crores of rupees into India. They see the potential. They are placing huge bets that the country is going to become a global AI hub. The stakes, honestly, could not be higher.
And all of this leaves us with one final, really provocative thought. For the last few years, the global conversation has been dominated by one question: how do we control AI's risks? But what's so fascinating and frankly exciting about this moment is that India is trying to lead a conversation around a totally different question. Not how to control AI, but how to unlock its rewards for everyone. How do we use AI to empower 1 billion people? The answer to that question, well, it could change everything.